We had played in 1965, husband and wife, Willie and Linda Lohman in Death of a Salesman, so I knew Benny.
Weren't they kind of hard to see riding on the elephants?
Oh, not that kind of circus. A herring circus.
Hello?
Mama! What the hell are you thinking?
Why are you yelling at me? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Rue McClanahan's journey on The Golden Girls began on an ordinary day, transformed by a simple phone call. Her agent from ICM was on the line, brimming with excitement about a new opportunity. A script from NBC was en route to her doorstep, a delivery that would soon reveal a pivotal turn in her career. As Rue took the script from the courier, wrapped in nothing but a plain envelope, her intrigue was captured by the title boldly declaring The Golden Girls. In that moment, Rue felt a surge of anticipation, intuiting that the pages she held might just pave the way to remarkable acclaim. Golden Opportunities. Without hesitation, Rue dove into the script, instantly falling in love with the character of Blanche.
Girls, see that man over there staring at me? He's undressing me with his eyes.
She quickly contacted her agent, expressing her desire to audition for Blanche. However, her agent informed her that the role was likely going to Betty White and suggested that Rue consider the role of Rose instead. Despite her reservations about fitting into the character of Rose, Rue was determined to be a part of this promising show. At the audition, Jay Sandrich, the director, asked Rue to do something quite unexpected. Although she had not prepared for it, he requested that she read for Blanche. Rue, ever adaptable, agreed and excelled in her impromptu performance, which clearly impressed Sandrich. Following this, Rue received a call from Susan Harris, the show's creator, who had another favor to ask. She needed Rue to persuade B. Arthur, who had been reluctant, to join the cast as Dorothy. B. had her reservations, fearing the show might be a rehash of previous roles she had played. However, Rue assured her that the dynamic among the characters would be different this time around. B's involvement became crucial. Estelle Getty, who had been cast as Sophia after a standout performance in a stage play, completed the ensemble, bringing a unique dynamic with her sharp wit and diminutive stature.
We are not going to do anything. Blanche, it has taken me a whole month to find this dress. You are simply going to have to take yours back.
Oh,
Which contrasted amusingly with B's towering presence. The auditions for The Golden Girls had been extensive, spanning across New York and Los Angeles, with countless actresses considered for the roles. The producers sought a perfect blend of talent and chemistry, which they ultimately found in Rue, Betty, B, and Estelle. This perfect match of actors led to a memorable audition before NBC executives, where they unanimously won their approval with their portrayal. Interestingly, Elaine Stritch was also in contention for a role. Known for her formidable stage presence, she nearly sabotaged her chances by insisting on adding expletives to her audition script, a move that the producers firmly discouraged. They wanted the characters to remain true to their vision, not altered by an actor's personal flair. As the show took off, it became evident that none of the actresses were entirely like their characters. Rue often joked about the differences between herself and Blanche.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I was fantasizing what Tom Brokaw looks like naked.
Noting her character's flamboyant and vivacious nature, traits that were exaggerated for comedic effect. Betty, often seen as the brains of the group, brought depth to Rose, who was otherwise naive and overly optimistic. Through The Golden Girls, the actors not only found significant roles that would define their careers, but also created a beloved show that resonated with audiences for its humor, warmth, and the genuine connection shared among its stars. The casting, though initially fraught with uncertainties and potential typecasting, proved to be serendipitous, beautifully showcasing the talents and unique characteristics of each actress. ensuring the show's place as a classic in television history. The final curtain, Rue McClanahan, a cherished member of the NBC television network, passed away at the age of 76. Known as America's beloved sweetheart, Rue was celebrated for her wit, charm, and lively personality. She gained fame relatively later in life at 51 when she starred in the hit series The Golden Girls, portraying one of the main characters. This role brought her immense popularity, and she became well-loved for her portrayal of a vibrant and vivacious woman, much like her character, who was always on the lookout for romance.
Dr. Newman is a guest in our home. If I'm self-conscious, he'll be ill at ease. I can't allow that to happen. It would be un-Southern.
Despite her success and cheerful demeanor, Rue faced significant health challenges, including several life-threatening situations. Observers close to her noted her struggles, seeing her distressed and in pain, which often led her to the hospital. Her health battles were so severe that there were moments when her survival seemed uncertain. She was fortunate to overcome these crises multiple times, but her luck did not hold indefinitely. On June 3, 2010, Rue McClanahan died in New York Presbyterian Hospital.
A former member of the NBC television family has died. Rue McClanahan was 76.
The cause of her death was reported as a stroke, typically resulting from a blood clot in the brain. Intriguingly, at the time of her stroke, Rue was under medication with warfarin, a potent drug intended to prevent blood clots, raising questions about the circumstances of her sudden death. Months before her death, Rue attended the B. Arthur Memorial at New York's Majestic Theater. As a close friend and colleague of B's from both Maude and The Golden Girls, Rue was invited to speak. Her lively spirit shone through as she entertained the audience with humorous anecdotes, showing no signs of her age or health issues. At this time, Rue was also enjoying her life with her sixth husband, Morrow Wilson, marking her longest and perhaps happiest marriage. Despite her vibrant public appearances, Rue's health was a constant concern. She had an active lifestyle, which usually helps reduce the risk of health issues like strokes, especially in older adults. Her public vitality and personal health struggles presented a stark contrast and added to the complexity of understanding her sudden demise. Born in 1934 in Hilton, Oklahoma, Rue was the first child in her family, growing up in modest circumstances. After moving to Ardmore, Oklahoma, she became a popular figure among her peers. Her first marriage to actor Tom Bish was rocky, ending shortly after the birth of their son, Mark. The collapse of this marriage and the responsibilities of motherhood weighed heavily on her, causing significant emotional distress. Despite these challenges, Rue was determined to pursue her acting career. The secret pains of Rue McClanahan appeared outwardly vibrant and engaged in her final days, yet underlying health issues cast a shadow over her seemingly robust frame. Notably, at the age of 74, just 2 years prior to her passing, Rue underwent knee surgery. This procedure, while common, posed significant risks, particularly the danger of blood clots due to prolonged immobility during recovery. Rue's history of knee problems, which dated back to her early acting days, compounded these risks. Notably, in 2005, at the age of 72, Rue accepted a role in the Broadway musical Wicked, which was performed on a raked stage. This type of stage, slanted for visual effect, placed additional stress on her already vulnerable knees. Her commitment to performing was so integral to her identity. However, the physical demands of her career undoubtedly left a lasting impact on her body. Apart from her physical challenges, Rue faced significant mental health struggles. In the months leading up to her death, she performed in a comedy show where she humorously adapted to her physical limitations by engaging in what she jokingly called sit-down comedy. However, behind her charismatic public persona, Rue battled severe anxiety. This anxiety wasn't a new development. It had been a constant companion since her childhood, exacerbated by her father's absence during World War II and her husband's abandonment immediately after their son's birth. Rue's anxiety manifested in panic attacks that began in her early years and intensified with age. These attacks were particularly acute at dusk, often stretching into the night, a pattern that reflected her deep-seated fears of abandonment. Despite the progressive worsening of these episodes, she found some relief through her love for animals. Rue was a passionate pet owner, and her companionship with animals likely provided a soothing counterbalance to her anxiety.
Hi, I'm Rue McClanahan, and I'm excited about having the opportunity to host this video about the care and loving of dogs.
Unfortunately, her condition required medical intervention, leading to prescriptions for potent medications like lorazepam, which helped manage her symptoms by calming her nervous system. This medication was necessary to control the intense episodes of anxiety that could, in turn, raise her blood pressure, a factor that could increase the risk of a stroke. Rue's autobiography also hints at another persistent issue, a mysterious pain that plagued her for much of her life. This enduring ache, described in her writings but never fully diagnosed, adds another layer of complexity to her health profile. Without a clear understanding of this pain's origins, it remains another piece of the intricate puzzle of her health. Rue McClanahan's life, marked by dramatic highs and painful lows, illustrates the profound resilience and vulnerability of a woman who navigated the pressures of Hollywood with grace and humor. Her struggles with health, both physical and mental, underscore the hidden battles she fought away from the public eye.
There's nothing worse than, and there's also nothing stronger than.
I think Rue loved pretending she was Blanche. I think in reality, she was a shy little girl.
Battles that she faced with the same courage and determination that characterized her celebrated career. Unmasking Blanche, Rose, Sophia, and Dorothy, Rue McClanahan shared insightful reflections on the distinct differences between the real-life personalities of the Golden Girls actresses and the characters they portrayed on the beloved show. She humorously emphasized that none of them closely resembled their on-screen personas. For example, while Rue played Blanche Devereaux, a flamboyant and romantically adventurous Southern belle, she herself was far more subdued and pragmatic in real life. Rue often joked about the stark contrast, pointing out that Blanche's extravagant and seductive traits were purely fictional enhancements for entertainment.
We've also found out that she has a crush on Rose. And Blanche stops at the door and she comes back into the room and she says, "Rose? Well, what's wrong with me?"
In interviews, Rue would playfully dismiss any suggestions that she shared Blanche's over-the-top romantic escapades. She used her sharp wit to underscore the fact that the characters were crafted with dramatic flair to captivate audiences, rather than mirror their real-life counterparts. This dramatic flair was a cornerstone of the show's appeal, blending humor with exaggerated realities to explore themes of aging, friendship, and independence. Betty White's portrayal of the naive and kind-hearted Rose Nyland was equally divergent from her own personality. Known for her intelligence and sharp sense of humor off-screen, Betty was far from the often clueless Rose she brought to life on television. Her real-life savvy and quick wit were in stark contrast to her character's tendency to be baffled by everyday situations. Betty's ability to infuse Rose with a genuine warmth and comedic innocence, despite her personal sophistication, highlighted her skill as an actress. Estelle Getty played the feisty and sharp-tongued Sophia Petrillo, known for her cutting remarks and strong will. Off-screen, however, Estelle was much softer and not as forceful as Sophia. She often expressed a desire to make her character reflect her own Jewish heritage, believing it would make her role more authentic to her personal identity. Estelle's comedic timing and ability to deliver zingers were natural elements of her personality, but she was far more approachable and gentle compared to her character. B. Arthur's character, Dorothy Zbornak, was known for her no-nonsense demeanor and sarcastic wit, traits that B did share to some extent. However, B's personal success and contentment in life contrasted sharply with Dorothy's often portrayed struggles and frustrations. B's off-screen persona was enriched by a sophisticated understanding of comedy and human behavior, allowing her to bring depth and nuance to Dorothy's character.
But I didn't know what rotten was till I saw Blanche, for heaven's sake. She's just...
This is rotten.
She is so deliciously rotten, and anything that moves is her target.
The dynamic among the actresses off-screen was one of mutual respect and professional camaraderie, quite different from the familial bickering and comedic disputes their characters often engaged in. This off-screen chemistry translated into an on-screen magic that resonated with viewers, making the characters beloved by many, yet distinctly different from the women who played them. Each actress brought something unique to her role. Crafting Blanche, Rue McClanahan shared an intriguing look into the creation of Blanche Devereaux's accent on The Golden Girls, a process marked by initial disagreements and creative evolution. Initially, the script described Blanche as being more Southern than the iconic Blanche Dubois from A Streetcar Named Desire, hailing from Atlanta. With this in mind, Rue naturally infused her portrayal with a Southern accent to bring authenticity to the character. However, during the pilot episode, director Jay Sandridge had a different vision. He specifically requested Rue to drop the Southern accent and use her natural Oklahoma accent instead. Rue was taken aback by this directive, as she felt a strong Southern accent was crucial to Blanche's identity as a Georgian belle. Despite her objections, Rue complied with Sandridge's request, albeit with a slightly modified Southern accent, softer than what she envisioned. This compromise highlighted a common challenge actors face: balancing personal interpretation with a director's vision. As the show was picked up after the pilot, a change in directors brought a new perspective. Paul Bogart, the new director for the series, was open to Rue's original idea of a pronounced Southern accent, which aligned with the show's producers, known humorously by Rue as Tall and Pony. This shift confused Rue initially, as she thought the directive to minimize the Southern accent still stood. After clarifying with the producers, she was encouraged to return to her initial instinct, embracing a full Southern accent for Blanche. Rue was excited to deepen her character's Southern traits, drawing inspiration from a relative, her mother's cousin, Aunt Pearl. Aunt Pearl, attempting to distance herself from her Southern Oklahoma roots, had crafted a unique accent that mingled elements of English poshness with Southern charm. While the family found Aunt Pearl's accent puzzling and inauthentic, Rue saw it as a perfect foundation for Blanche's exaggerated Southern belle persona. Rue decided to adapt, but not directly replicate Aunt Pearl's accent, aiming to create something distinctively Blanche. She envisioned an accent so richly Southern that it was unlike any other exaggerated, theatrical, and dripping with charm, designed to captivate and entertain. Though Rue herself found the humor in how outlandish it was, this creative process of developing Blanche's accent illustrates the complex interplay between an actor's creative input and the collaborative nature of television production. It shows how a character on paper can evolve through the contributions of directors, actors, and producers to become a beloved icon on screen. Rue's dedication to crafting Blanche's identity showcases the artistry involved in acting, how personal experiences, directorial feedback, and creative risks coalesce to bring a fictional character to life in a way that resonates with audiences.